All right, are we streaming?
It should
Yeah.
be.
Cool. Okay, so what happened just now was they basically kind of got noticed by the robots and stuff that were fighting in the crater. They met with them, explained the situation, and they have enthusiastically recruited them. However, they have to find a way to actually get access to the army and kind of free these excitable war robots. So the when you ask about how to do that, or was it Johnny Six points over in the direction of the facility off in the distance. I guess it's like a bit more than a kilometer away, and it says, "Well, if you want us to be able to get out of here and come with you, you're going to have to find. Well, the entrance is located over in that surface access facility, which has a whole bunch of supplementary facilities scattered around it. It's encountered some damage, and well, you'll see when we get there. And it basically it trundles out of the crater, and let's say it takes off at quite a speed over the desert sands. So presumably you pile back onto your vehicle and chase after it.
Sure.
Absolutely. I grabbed the rope.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so you head over in the direction of this facility. Once you get fairly close, you come across a somewhat ruined and destroyed kind of road, but it's enough to get up some speed as you come in. As you approach the facility, okay, hold on. I'm going to put you on the screen. So, so this icon that I've just dropped on towards the top right, oops, nope, is going to be your car.
Yeah, I see it. Don't have control of it, but it does go.
1 second. Alright, you should have control now. So as you speed down this road, let's see. So it's the road has kind of posts, what look like kind of posts, driven into the ground along the side of the road. And as you're driving along, these kind of light up with lamps on top that at first are white, but then they start to kind of flash in a pattern that's like following your car as you're driving along beside them. And all of a sudden they turn red, and suddenly you see a long... my ruler would be better. Kind of along like this area, like the front of the buildings that are kind of facing you. You see a sequence of kind of bright red lights flash brightly along the length of there, and suddenly some red kind of lasery projectiles fly out in your direction and thwack into the sand kind of either side of the road and also in front of you. And Johnny Six, who is trundling along beside you, says, "Oh, don't mind them. They're just the defense system. They'll try and shoot at you and kill you."
Information that would have been useful a minute ago.
So, like, what? I thought you liked fighting.
Sure, we just didn't realize we were going to.
All right, so you're barreling along the road as you're suddenly coming under fire from these defenses that are shooting up the ground around you. It seemed like the first barrage was kind of by way of a warning shot, but suddenly a few projectiles come in that come much closer, and it's only with a prompt swerve by Stacen that you're able to avoid the first rounds. They now seem to be targeting you directly with an aim to try and blow you up. So let's see. So we're kind of basically going into combat. We're not going to do initiative just yet, I don't think. But Stacen, how are you going to react to this as the driver?
Well,
I'm probably going to floor it, I'd imagine. Go up again.
I might be able to help here. Just to clarify, you've said both energy and projectile. Are these just like laser rays,
Sure, yeah. What do
or
you
is
want
it
them?
like mortar shells?
What do you want them to be?
I'd like them to be solid because I've got the ability to create a field of gravity around us that makes every projectile that enters range just drop harmlessly to the ground near us.
Nice. Okay, in that case, yes, they are like kind of large caliber tracer machine gun rounds.
Sweet. Okay. This is called the SWAT, is how I've decided to name it. And so I basically just block everybody's shots repeatedly, just slap them down on the ground, so just like in kind of a circle around the vehicle. I'm just slapping these mortars out of the air.
Nice. I'm kind of like you're you're being dragged along behind the vehicle on a rope. By the way, Roderick Shack can fly, so he's you're yeah. So he's being dragged along behind a car on a rope like a kite, and I'm thinking that like as these projectiles start coming in, like you realize that you need to be up at the front in order to divert these. So you're like swimming through the air with your
No. I'm like, if it's on the right hand side, I'm swerving the car to the left so that the tether swings him around to the right.
Oh, nice. Yeah, like kind of a Mad Max moment where you get swung around in the air, so you're at the front and you can do this swap move. So that's
like
just
if Mad Max was directed by Stephen Chow.
yeah. So attacks until the next turn right around. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to say just spend the cost of that. I think that's going to protect you from the first barrage.
Awesome.
Let's see. I don't really have a strict rule for like how far you're going to be able to drive. Let's say so if you're just piling on down the road in the same direction. Let's say you get about this far. Let's see. Okay, so as you get closer, it becomes you come into the range of more of these guns, basically. So several more batteries of them open up, and the sky in front of you is just a field of these tracers just shooting in towards you and impacting with kind of the ground around you and the road. You're dodging and weaving. So, Stacey, give me a speed roll, difficulty. I'm going to say 6 to avoid these.
Okay, let's do that one.
Sweet. Nice. Okay, so you not only succeed in...
Oh, 1 sec. I've also got... actually, I might still count, but I've got an ability on my character sheet. Let me find it. What's it called? Minor to major. You treat rolls of a natural 19 as rolls of a natural 20. I don't know if that was a natural 19, but it's...
Yep. So the number right up at the top, it says 1d20 and then 19. So
there it is. Okay.
That's your actual roll.
Yeah, because
usually that's
going on there.
Yeah.
I just read the green bit usually.
Yeah. Most of the maths in theory just affects the difficulty level, so your roll will be your roll. Cool. Okay, so you get a major effect in that case. So not only do you successfully avoid these shots that are coming in, let's say, okay, so get my ruler. So you moved kind of about that far before. Let's say you can move twice that far. And if you can think of anything else that you want to have as a kind of side effect of what you're doing, you can also do that. So with about that much range, go ahead and say how your vehicle moves. Like, are you just still driving straight down the main road? Or?
No. Is there pathways either side of this road, like footpaths? Or is this like what kind of road
pretty
is it?
much. Like,
Okay. So on one of the curbs, I deliberately hit side of the car onto the curb to lift it up onto 2 wheels.
Yes.
Nice.
For a brief while, we're going on 2 wheels to kind of change the profile of the car so that projectiles are going like past it. You know?
Nice. Okay, so whereabouts do you end up?
Well, I guess we're going straight down this main road, so as far as I can, basically down
yeah, cool.
the road.
Yeah, if you're just
we're
going down
still
the road,
following,
then yes, it's going to
Johnny.
be about that far.
Yeah.
Um,
I was going to suggest that we ask Johnny 6 to run some simulations and see which would be the safest route, but it's a bit late for that.
all right, so as you're like driving through all these explosions and stuff. Johnny Six is like weaved off to, let's say the left of the road, and he's also dodging through these projectiles and stuff. He's just going, yeah!
You know what? I don't think he's going to want to bring us on the safest route anyway.
Who's Johnny Six?
So he is.
Have you seen Short Circuit? The film.
No.
Okay.
Well, essentially, he's a robot.
He's a robot.
Who's on our side. Sort of.
So he's. I guess he's shaped like in Terminator 2 as well. The kind of big, like tracked.
Oh yeah, the hunter killers.
Tank things. Yeah, the hunter killer type things. Anyway, he's basically like a big mecha that has tank tracks. He's, I don't know, like 15 feet tall or something like that.
Oh, so he's more like the robot from Lost in Space.
Yeah. But anyway, as you're bundling along, he, let's see. So yeah, he was off to the road. As you kind of go in towards the interior of the complex, he rolls back onto the road with you, and he kind of projects like a kind of a holographic kind of display like in front of your vehicle. So it's kind of like a HUD, but it's like projected out in front of you. So it's a bit like wobbling back and forth, a little bit hard to read, but you see some kind of red concentric circles home in on a few points that are like in the buildings kind of in front of you. And let's say on the right and the left, and then if you give me just a second to get some icons. Let's see. These guys. And from inside the kind of semi-ruined buildings, burst forth two very large security mechs. One here, and one here. And let's say, okay, at this stage, let's roll initiative. So let's see. I'm gonna have to mess around with icons for a sec.
This music is really good jams, by the way,
Oh,
Dogface.
Music
get-
alert, intrusion.
Do I get
Is it
anything
the green or the
for
red one? I can never remember.
being there?
Red, isn't it?
Hold on, I need to.
Okay.
I need to get your
Hang
icon
on.
first. And so, Rogorek, as usual, you'll be like, unless you say otherwise, you're just somehow attending this thing in whatever means you see fit. So you're, observing at some unseen place. So you can kind of jump in whenever you feel is best. So you're over here.
Were you in the car boot all along?
Uh,
That would explain why I wasn't handling very well earlier. The extra weight, I'm not used to it.
Oh, God damn it.
So
Sorry.
if I'm rolling my initiative, do I press the green or is it always the red?
It's always going to be the red. The red is the one that uses the API functions, basically. But yeah, hold on, because I need to get your icons in place so that it can work properly.
Cool.
Is that a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Correct.
So I picked up total awareness, which means that the difficulty of any initiative or perception tasks are reduced by 3 steps, but it's not like, it doesn't have a difficulty associated with it. Initiative.
Yeah.
So, I think just doing specialized asset +1 does the same thing.
Yeah. That works.
Well, how many assets can I put in? Oh, only 2. Okay, fine, yeah.
All right, so I've got your icons. I've put them down in the bottom right. These are just for the purposes of doing
You could
initiative
also
and
use
stuff. at this
bonus, I
stage.
suppose. Don't know.
Yeah, so bonus is kind of like an asset, but
It's only +1.
Oh, right. Okay.
yeah. So like, whereas an asset, an asset of 1 reduces the difficulty by 1, which reduces the target number by 3. But the bonus just gives adds or subtracts onto your roll directly.
Right.
One at a time. So you'd need 3 bonuses to do the same as 1 asset. Okay, so now that I've got your icons in place, what you need to do initiative is click on your icon, and then in your character sheet roll initiative.
I am actually trained in this, so let's see how that goes.
Do you want me to roll
That's
again, or
special.
I mean, I got 2. So
Whichever you like.
yeah, I'd rather roll again. That's a bit better.
Where's my icon?
There's a mystery 9 in the initiative list.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I
down
think
in
she
the
was already
left.
there. But you can just delete her out of it.
She was there all along.
So,
All right, so
is there a little scrap of metal in the back of the station mobile, maybe?
sure, why not?
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, let's just I guess let's do
How
give
little?
everyone turns.
Because there's pieces missing off the bag which could be rattling around in there.
Right. Yeah, just like a couple of, about a foot, maybe.
Yeah, go on. There's loads of scrap.
So these mechs are jumping out the building. They're about the size of Metal Gears.
Okay.
If
How
I,
big's
yeah,
a Metal Gear?
The robot, not
that's a good
the
question.
gear.
It's like 20, 30 meters tall.
Okay.
That sounds about right.
Big.
Yeah, but like think of them as having the same abilities and stuff like that. They're jumping dramatically in a Konami style out of the buildings. One of them leaps kind of onto the side of the road here, basically, and the other one is kind of perched on the rubble of its building.
Are they coloured blue as like just because you're using tokens, or is that because they are on the blue team and we are essentially allied with the wrong team or something? Like, I'm just trying to think if they're
One of them's red.
What do you
I
mean?
think-
What do you mean blue? These guys are red.
Both red.
okay.
Cheating.
Yeah, these guys are. They have all their lights and stuff turned on red, and they're like, "Halt, intruders!" And well, before they have a chance to act, we're going to go in the turn order. So, Minim, because you got greater than 20, you have a free.
Well, I didn't crit roll.
Doesn't matter. I'm going to go with the value as it.
Could I ask a quick question of Johnny?
Quite a lot now.
Actually, no. Yeah, that's right. Actually, I guess.
Yeah, because I got like
So only.
Yeah.
Okay, so actually, Shaq. Before everyone else, if you roll a 20 in initiative, you get a free turn before anything else happens.
Oh,
well, you
sweet.
didn't roll a natural 20.
Shaq did. Yeah,
No.
Shaq.
Shaq got a. Oh, I have literally no idea how to interpret
You
my
got
roll.
a 14, and it looks like you're specialized in it, so you got 20.
Oh, okay, I get you.
I think that's the same thing that's happened to Varix.
Yeah, Varric
Yeah.
got a
Yeah.
17.
Plus
He's
3.
trained.
He's trained.
Yeah, I got plus 3 as well. But
All right. Yeah, fair enough. Good job on working that out.
Yeah, it's just
okay.
if I go 20 or over, I'm going to be getting that a lot
Yeah.
from here on out.
Okay, so in that case, it's just that Minim goes first.
Cool. So just big robots, yeah?
Yep.
Well, that sucks. I can't eat them. Well,
Don't put yourself down.
I mean, yeah, you can probably eat some silicone.
I'm just going to go and hit it.
have we considered trying to ask Johnny Six if he can disable these in any way? 'Cause
I was thinking about that. I was going to say, Johnny, can we do anything to get control of these things instead of destroying them?
No, they're on a different security loop. Wouldn't do it if I could anyway.
Yeah, I thought that. It's
Left
just
Johnny 6.
we could.
We got to see if you can actually
They
fight.
but these guys would be useful in the Mother
Yeah.
of Waters, right? So
That's my only concern.
Right, but we've got like a whole host of other mechs.
That's true.
So
Okay.
have to crack a few eggs to make this omelet.
I suppose as well, if we do make this omelette, there's repair drones inside the omelette that can repair the eggshells. I think
Quite
that metaphor holds up.
Yeah, quite
Wow.
so.
Sort of.
All right, so Minim, what are you gonna do?
I'm going to. How far away are they?
You can use the ruler; it should be about accurate. So they're about
Okay.
80 meters away.
That's more than 100 feet. I'm going to. How much is teleport? I think that's free if I'm not doing anything else with it. Yes. I'm going to teleport onto one of them's backs.
All right. Yeah. If you like move outside the vehicle, you can go ahead and like take your icon and move it where it's
Yeah.
going. So put it on whichever one you like.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So within the vehicle, well, how does it look for the others like inside the vehicle?
We have that open hatch on top, by the way, if you need to.
Yeah. The vehicle on the back. The vehicle that we were all in. How does it look for that? Well, they probably didn't.
Yeah,
see
like
whether or
just-
whether or not they saw anything, I don't know, because I was sat in the back seat, and then sort of like one moment I'm there, the next moment like,
Yeah. All right. So maybe someone just turns around, like, just no. Where's Minim? Okay.
oh, he's done his thing again.
Yeah.
The camera pans in on the rear view mirror, and Stacen's just frowning, like, what?
Nice.
Not
Okay.
again.
So if you're not doing anything else, that will be your turn.
Well, I think that's all I can. That's my action. So
Yeah. Well, let's see. Yeah, just to keep it easier, let's say that's true. Okay, so Shaq, it is your turn. So you're being dragged along, or actually no, you got swung kind of out to the front of the vehicle. You're floating on your rope, and suddenly two giant robots, the like of which you've never seen before, have jumped out in your path.
Are these robots like these things are enormous? Would they count?
They're like building sized, basically.
Can we also confer on what the plan is as well? Like, are we allowed to do that?
Yeah, like talking as a free
'Cause
action.
I'm just wondering, because we've got Shaq on a rope, if we were to do the old at round the legs, would
Yeah.
that work?
I can totally see that. Let's say it's
Maybe
like a
not like on all of them, obviously, it's just rope, but it's
Yeah,
probably do one of them.
well, let's say it's a thick
Well-
metal cable rather than rope.
I've got. I mean, I was using my ropes, which are, stronger than.
Oh yeah, she got those upgraded by various technologists along the way. So let's say the strength of the rope shouldn't be a concern.
My plan was to, I asked for a little metal sheet. I was gonna essentially, was it surf out the back of the
Oh, I like it.
Nice.
car,
Yeah.
and then use that to just slingshot me into the leg of one of the things, so
we'll
I can
have
slash
two
it.
of you out the back then, so that's that could look really amazing.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, I
Well,
mean,
not out the back, one out the front.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
not to railroad you or guide you too much, but you do have. Let's move those a little bit closer. So you do have one on each side of the road. Food for
Yeah.
thought.
Food for minimum.
So
But anyways, it's Shaq. You're up.
yeah. So Shaq's turn first.
Okay, so I don't like the Star Trek movies, so I'm not too interested in doing an AT-AT move.
Fine.
So
No. I wasn't trying to railroad you, man. It's
Oh,
the night.
I know. I understand. I'm just saying that this is the thing that I want to do. This is called posterize, and that's when you dunk on somebody so hard that they fall over. And I can increase the target's weight dramatically. The target is pulled to the ground and can't move physically under its power for 1 minute.
Awesome.
Mostly within short range. If this applies to building size mechs, that's what I would be interested in doing.
Yeah, so let's see. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna just slightly break the order just to make things easier. I'm gonna put actually Station up top. So I'm gonna have you determine how you're gonna drive and how you're gonna move, and then the others can kind of play off that because I think that makes
Yeah.
more sense.
Okay, well, I'm carrying on down the road, but I'm going to go between Mech 1 and Min. I can't say your name. Minim.
Yep.
That mech. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so yeah, just carrying on the road. Okay, so let's say while you do that, while you're doing that, initiative can get a bit tricky sometime with driving and stuff like this. Okay, so basically, as you're doing that, they're going to be attacking you, just shooting a barrage of rockets, trying to hit the road ahead of where you're driving.
Right.
So let's have you make a speed roll to get around that or otherwise deal with it. These guys are level 6, so it's going to be a difficulty 6.
Okay, let's go with that.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so you do indeed successfully swerve in a cool manner between this traces and stuff. Feel free to add a description if you like, but you're going to be ending up kind of like roughly here or something. So you're driving basically you successfully drive in between these two mechs and end up on the other side.
Yeah, I fake right and then I basically spin left to dodge between the two.
Yeah, nice. Cool. Okay, so that is Dason's turn, and now Shaq, like with that in mind, how the car is moving, you can describe how you pull off your posterize move.
Okay.
Actually,
so
sorry, hold on. Actually, better roll first, I guess. So which one are you doing it against? Mech 1?
I'm going to do it on the north one.
Yeah.
And just kind of the idea is that, like, with that burst of speed, I'm back behind the car, being roped around again. So what I'm going to do is yank the rope as hard as I can to have me like come down onto the car's hood, and then I'm going to jump off of the car's hood, just whip down, jump back off, and just slam my crotch into the face of this thing of the mech. I will be using the hoopogram to create a hologram hoop above him that I dunk on, and I dunk on him so hard that he's crushed by his own weight for a minute.
Awesome. Okay, so go ahead and give me a roll. It's difficulty 6. Yeah, it's I'm gonna like you kind of have an asset from all this momentum and stuff, but it also makes it more difficult. So I'm gonna say that evens out.
Okay. Let me see this. Hang on one sec. I'm trying to figure out if I'm trained in this or not.
Yeah, no problem. So you might have something like training in speed or might attacks, or you might be trained or specialized in this particular move. Or you might have like a relevant skill, perhaps, that might cover it.
I do have a specialization in jumping.
No, I'm
wanna-
gonna say that doesn't quite cover it.
That works. All right, then I'm gonna call this untrained.
Yep, fair enough.
Difficulty 6, no assets. Here we go. Oh no!
Okay, so as you like trampoline up off the car, you know, up towards the and you project this hoop that you you know, dunk your way through. The mech, let's say it you know, looks up at you with kind of the robot equivalent of like surprised eyes, and activates rocket boosters on its front that just jam it backwards into the building behind it, which kind of crumbles around it. So let's see. Well, you can choose either you just like miss it and crash down onto the ground, or you basically bounce off it, having you know, missed your target.
I think I'd like to bounce and just be, well, no, I think I'm gonna hit the ground.
Okay, yeah, I presume actually you're still attached onto the rope.
I think I probably would have let go of the rope. right
Okay,
then.
fair enough. Yep, that's cool. Okay, so you know, you ready up this spectacular slam as your opening move, but unfortunately the mech is just too big and quick for you. You're not really used to opponents having rocket boosters to maneuver with.
Most of my basketball cultist friends do not have rockets.
Yeah, so it just like scoots out the way, and you go crashing down into the kind of wreckage in front of it where it was, as the car continues roaring past you. While that happens, and that is your turn. Actually, wait, let's see. No, I'm not going to give you any damage from that. So Varix, what do you do?
So how far away are we from the...
You can use the ruler.
It's quite a ways, right? It's like 300 meters or something like that.
From where?
Oh wait, no, the car is here now.
Yeah.
It's close. Okay.
Yeah.
So 40, 30, 40.
But in terms of like movement speed, you know, you have momentum and stuff, and plus just fudge it, you know, you can assume that you can move longer distances than normal.
Because we're in a moving vehicle, right? So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, my move is like kind of spread out between all of yours, kind of. Because
Yeah,
I have
pretty
to.
much.
What I'm doing is kind of facilitating your goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Driving.
Okay, so let's see. What can I do? I think I will try and just tackle one of them. Like tackle. They have legs, right? They're mechas.
Yeah, they're bipedal.
So maybe the one that. So Shaq, are you still on top of the mech, or you bounced off of it?
Yeah, he's. I'm gonna say he bounced off it and he crashed into the rubble of the building that is in front of the mech.
All right. So I'm sort of like surfing off, and as the car swerves around, I just also, let myself be flung off the car and just have like a football tackle against one of the
nice.
legs joints.
Like
Yeah,
I think.
keep up the sports.
Yeah, I think that would definitely work in like a Metal Gear Solid cutscene type style, where it's just like a static shot of this mech, and suddenly this huge like cannonball of this giant Naga creature just slams into the leg with such momentum that, well, let's find out what happens. So he's level 6, and well, this can be might or speed, I'd say.
Okay, so that's a normal attack, I would imagine.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, if anything on your sheet applies, feel free to suggest it.
Yeah. All right.
Nice. All right. So let's see. I'm going to say like a full-on body tackle with your character is definitely going to count as a heavy. In fact, I'm going to say it's more than that. It's 8 damage. I think with this, since you're attacking from a car, I'm going to add 12 onto that.
My mic just cut out. Can you say that again?
So I think that's going to add up to 12 damage. Oh, and plus 17, you get 1 more as well. So 13 damage. Nice.
Nice.
In fact, yeah, I think that's actually enough that as you slam into it, it kind of slips on some rubble and it lands awkwardly, and it seems to damage the kind of, joints and actuators and stuff on that leg. So it goes kind of stumbling back and it kind of collapses back against the rubble. It's not completely disabled, but you seem to have at least impaired its kind of movement and done a pretty hefty whack of damage as well. Nice. So that is your turn.
Can I use my tail to like cling to it as it stings back, or?
Yeah, sure. If you want to say that you're like clung onto its leg now and you're kind of grappled with it, that's fine. Cool. So now the mechs have a turn. So let's start with mech 1. It's just been, suffered a pretty serious attack. Let's see. It's got Shaq in front of it, and Barracks clung onto its leg. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. Like Shaq is right in front of it, so I think it's going to attack him. Let's see. Actually, yeah, I'm going to say, so it's going to basically do a combined gun and rocket attack without moving in the direction of Shaq, but it's kind of spraying a line that's going to go kind of like this across the road, and it's going to be threatening to catch the car as it goes past as well. So both Shaq and Stason make a defense. It can be might or speed. I'm going to say Stason, it's going to, like a might one would count in for just the armor of the car. Yeah, difficulty 6.
Okay, I am trained in speed defense.
Cool. Okay, yeah. So you can do a speed defense and be trained. Oof.
No, check.
Sorry,
anyway,
I'm the big cactus.
The might one was okay to do, right?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay, I have mastery that as well, so let's try that.
Oh dear. So basically, as the mech kind of rockets its way back into the rubble of the building, and at the same time, Barracks is just slamming into its leg and causing it to topple back as well. Shaq goes. I'm going to slightly retcon. Shaq is like swinging out on his rope from the car, trying to through this hoop and trying to do a mega dunk onto the mech. But because he mistimes it, basically, the mech sees Shaq just like slamming down in front of it, and it just activates all the weapons that are pointing forward, basically all of its close defense weapons, and this just like anime style rocket barrage along with a whole bunch of tracers and smoke and stuff just shoots out over the space where he is, and there's kind of an explosion that he's kind of sent flying, and at the same time the shots carry on like towards the road, and they basically likewise there's a big flurry of explosions around the Stationmobile as, let's see, I think I'm just gonna conflate the Stationmobile's health with yours, Station. So you're gonna take 12 damage minus, but let's say the car is armored, so take 3 off. So you're gonna take 9 damage from Might.
Damn.
And Shaq, you are going to take 12 damage minus any armor.
Okay. Now, I just want to point out, just for the sake of the visualization here, that again, the posterization move, the posterize is when you slam your crotch into somebody's head.
Okay.
I did get all of those missiles to my crotch.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I imagine there's like a shot where it's
Do you
just
need
like
the reproductive bud now? I mean, I haven't used it yet.
That's all he's got left.
I think there's a shot where the camera is just attached onto the one of the missiles as it's just flying towards you, and we just catch a glimpse of like Shaq with his legs wide open trying to faceplant this mech, and just like his eyes are wide just before there's this big explosion as the missile hits, and he goes flying away. So let's say you get, that's the point at which you get kind of slammed onto the rubble. Let's say kind of around here.
Welcome to the jam.
So that is Mech 1. Mech 2, let's see. I'm going to say it hasn't noticed Minim just appearing on top of its head because it doesn't really have like a sense of, touch basically. So it is going to, let's see, it almost gets hit by the kind of line of fire that gets shot across the runway, and it basically tries to do a kind of intersecting field of fire and also try and attack the Stationmobile. So Station, go ahead and let's see. I'm going to say, because this is all happening so quickly and because it's a big machine, it's kind of slightly doing a kind of the equivalent of a snapshot, and it's not really able to aim too well. So some of its shots are actually going to fly, whether it hits the Stationmobile or not, they're going to fly towards Mech 1 and potentially hit Barracks. So again, Station and also this time Barracks, make me another defense, level 6.
Oh man, taking a beating here. And this is Might, yeah?
Again, it can be either. Speed if you're trying to dodge, or Might if you're just trying to absorb it with the armor.
I think I'll go Speed because I've taken a beating to my Might. Let's go to...
Nice. And
my stat pool didn't update then. Should it have? It should when you do the API one, right?
Yeah, it should do. It's really annoying. Sometimes it can be a bit janky.
Is it about 17 now?
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, then just do it manually, basically.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so Station's handily swerves out of the way of that fire. And Barracks, is that your defense roll, the 7-6? Nice. And that's Might as well. So a few of these stray rounds fly towards you. Several machine gun bullets basically just ping off the leg around you, and they also ping off your kind of armor and scales. And let's say a couple of rockets explode nearby, and there's some shrapnel, but you just cling on to the mech's leg, and you emerge unscathed from that.
Since I'm using my tail to basically attach myself, I'm using one arm to just brush some of that dirt off my shoulder.
Oh, nice. So that is the mech's turn. Now it is Nai.
Okay, see, I suppose I should go for Minim's mech because the other one has more attention. Does that seem reasonable? Unless, Minim, you have some fancy plans for it?
Well, how well whatever I do works is, I don't know. Do whatever you want.
Right. Okay, so hooking both my swords onto the, or both my swords onto the car. I pay out the line and jump off the back onto the little thing of metal. I sort of skateboarder onto it. And using the sort of momentum of the car going around the corner, I pull in the line and essentially yank the swords up towards me. And
Cool.
fly off towards the leg, which I want to sort of essentially go for the ankle and try and take it down that way.
I'm going to say, like, maybe it's part of the technology that's been gradually added to your swords, or maybe it's just the sheer, like, anime-like power level that you have at this stage. But I think you can, well, or maybe it's the Metal Gear Solid theme that we're playing with. But basically, I'm going to say at this stage, your swords can do the thing where, like you make this mighty strike, and there's like a line of light, and then you can just potentially have like sliced through some big metal leg or whatever it is.
I'm
Okay,
totally
so
gonna Grey Fox this.
Yeah, exactly. So, make me a attack difficulty 6, and I figure this is going to be might.
Difficulty 6. Yeah. So I am specialised in heavy weapons, and let's see. I'm going to put 3 effort in because I want this to work.
Nice. All right. So you do indeed successfully do a Raiden slice against this thing's leg, and let's just go ahead and say you cut its foot off, or rather, like you cut it off its foot, because its foot just like stays there on the ground, and it kind of steps back and then awkwardly clunks down onto its ankle, and kind of it also stumbles back against the building that that it has its back to. Although this one doesn't quite collapse, it just kind of creaks and groans a bit.
Things being cut off their legs is becoming a theme.
That's definitely
Whenever
this weekend.
around, there's feet and stuff.
So Minim, as it's like leaning back against this building, there's like there's kind of a roof behind you now. Cool. Okay, so let's see.
And everyone gets 1 bonus to their rolls in combat now.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. So you heavy weapon 6. Let's say the momentum is going to give you another 2/8. Okay, so you do 8 damage to this thing.
Cool.
You cut off its foot, which makes it rather more awkward for it to move, but it doesn't seem to completely impair its ability to walk. Cool. Okay, so that's your turn, and now Roderick, if you like, you can join in some way.
Yeah, can I like climb up to the mech one's knee?
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
Try and like stab in.
Cool. Okay. So, and it, like, are you kind of still trying to hide yourself from the group, or do you let yourself see this way? Okay. So, unseen to the rest of the group, some little blighter is clinging to the other leg of Mech 1 and stabbing his sword into a vulnerable point on the joints. So go ahead, Roderick, and give me a. Actually, I'm going to say, because it's taken a bit of a beating and it's been beaten back against the building and stuff. Let's say it's level 5 for this one.
Oh, 5. Speak.
Ooh. All right, so let's see. So you you tried to stab into a vulnerable part of the joint in this knee. Let's see. But you just find that it's simply too armored and metallic. A part that you thought was like a soft kind of hydraulic hose turns out to be kind of metal and armored, and your sword just bounces off it. As yet, nothing else happens, but something will in the course of time. Apart from that, that is your turn. So let us roll initiative again. So just click on your icon and then roll the initiative in your character sheet.
Once.
All right, are we all done? It looks like we're done.
No, not quite. I can't seem to select shack right now, which is weird.
Move him a bit. Does that help? Oh, I think you got your ruler activated. So you need to click on the arrow.
Clever.
He knows things.
Wow, nice. Okay. This time you did get a natural 20, so before anything else happens, you get a free action. Like a free full move.
Sweet. If I am still next to this Joker, I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to do a crush move, aka a dunk, on this guy.
Nice.
It is a bashing two-handed attack with my glass ball. There's a -1 penalty to the attack roll, but there are 3 points of extra damage.
Cool. Nice.
that-
Okay, so it's.
Is that just -1 and not one level?
Yeah, so that'd be adding 1. It sounds like onto the difficulty.
Right.
Okay. So
but then increasing the damage as well.
Right, and then it was it's a level 5 right now. So the difficulty
Yeah.
plus
It's
1
level.
is 6.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna say, come on and slam. Welcome to the jam.
Oh no!
Oh no! He does not get welcomed to the jam. What does happen in this failed attack?
Let me see.
I think you need to start putting effort into these things.
The thing is that I've got my flight still, and I'm not used to jamming with flight on, so I go up in the air and I just go right past him, like whoops. Whoa.
Nice. Okay, so you're going off tumbling into the air. That is your. Oh wait, no, that is your free turn that you get at the beginning, and now because you're also at the top of the initiative order, it's your turn again.
So as I fly past him, unexpectedly, I realize that there's a building in front of me that I can bounce off of.
Nice.
To come back through and go for another one. This time I'm gonna just do a regular attack rather than a full dunk. So I'm just gonna take my ball and kind of try and slam it into the creature itself rather than activating my hoopogram.
Yeah. Very nice. So that would be just a normal difficulty 5 attack.
Okay.
Good. Oh no, he's having a bad game.
I'm a human pinball right now.
You really need to start using effort.
I'm not using effort. I don't really know how, so that's why I haven't. Oops.
It's so each level of effort that you spend is going to decrease the difficulty by 1, so that'll make the target number lower. What is it? The first one costs
3,
and then
one is 2.
Yeah, but then from that cost, your edge gets subtracted. If you want, you can go ahead and actually. I'm going to let you re-roll that.
Yeah. Okay. I should be able to give like 2 free.
Yeah, you get 2 free if you've got an edge of 4.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
snap. Yeah, I've got an edge of 5.
Yeah, and then you can also invest points to spend further effort as well, up to your maximum effort.
Okay. All right. I think I've got that. All right. Awesome. That's way better.
Hey.
Very
Yay.
nice. All right, so this one is successful. What's your weapon? Is it? Oh wait, you're a glaive, so I'm going to assume that it's heavy.
It's a medium bashing because it can be used. It can be slammed one-handed, and the difference between heavy and medium is that heavy can never be used one-handed. So this is a medium bashing.
Okay.
If I give him a +1 because of my impressive fighting, does that mean he's a 19 and therefore?
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Minus
There should be a
six.
natural one though, right?
So because Nai fights with panache, when you're fighting alongside her, you get to put 1 in the bonus box, which increases your roll. So that would take you to a 19. So what that does is, so it's a medium weapon that does 4 damage. Rolling a 19 gives you 3 bonus damage. And let's see. Oh, I guess you don't have a minor
I do.
effect.
I have an extra effect as well. It's called
yeah?
Slayer in the rules as written. I've renamed it Big Diesel.
Yeah.
And whenever I strike an NPC or creature level 5 or lower, and this thing is level 5 right now, I can make another roll. And if I succeed on the second roll, I kill the target outright.
Oh, badass! All right, go ahead and roll another roll as well. Then, in that case.
Okay, I'm gonna add the. Is that a bonus that I get from 9? Or an asset?
It's 1 bonus,
Okay, awesome.
which is like a mini asset.
It's going down for real.
Oh! So
All right.
you.
So Jack was like lazy for this whole time. He didn't put in any effort. And like now that he's got his head in the game.
All right, so
But that is so Shaq, though, isn't it?
Welcome to the big leagues, Shaq.
So with 1 destructive shot, you destroy this mech. How does it happen?
I just slam my ball straight through its freaking big metal chest. I bounce off the building, and just like leave I stretch out my whole body like a string bean from the wall, and I've got the ball in front of me, and me and the ball just plunge through it.
All right, and as this happens, a whole bunch of camera drones that turn out to have been flying alongside you, like, flash up their lights and let out on the speakers for like 3 seconds, and then
All ready for this.
as you slam down onto the ground at its feet, it staggers backwards and starts doing the different parts of it are like exploding with little explosions, and energy lines are coming out across it, and it basically it explodes. But let's say that Barracks has enough time. Oh, and Rogarek have enough time to escape from it before it explodes in a huge, lovely explosion that leaves fiery light flickering off the nearby buildings.
Looks like you just got a taste of Shaq Fu.
So it is now out of the game. Right, so that was your proper turn, Shaq. Now it is... Hold on, to get rid of Mech 1. So now it's Mech 2. It turns and sees its compatriot getting just royally slammed and destroyed in one mighty hit. It lets out a kind of warbling, distressed moan, and it let's see. Okay, yeah. So what it does is, so the first thing it does is, and this is a result of the 1 that was rolled earlier. It pops up a little hatch on its shoulder, and a red flare goes shooting up into the air, and let's get an icon for this. You hear the thrum of distant motors. Rotors, as a air vehicle approaches from off to the south. It's a strange craft compared to the ones you've seen. Oh, why isn't it turning? Compared to the ones that you've seen before. Why can I not rotate it? There we go. It kind of looks a bit like the body of a bird, but it has these strange rotating arms above it that are whirring very quickly and enabling it to hover above the ground as it approaches through, kind of winding through the buildings, and let's see. Let's say Stason is able to. He's able to recognize this as a strange war machine called a Hind D. Metal Gear reference.
Who wants the D?
Anyway, so
it's
this
going to swat down a couple of bothersome flies.
Yeah, exactly. So it that thing approaches and enters the battlefield. It's going to say that has. Turn. Let's say that's going to have initiative 18 as well. Okay, so that approaches, that's the first thing that Mech 2 does. The second thing is it activates a defense shield that basically crackles out over its form, and then, so it's kind of wearing it like a skin, and then it expands outwards into a bubble. This is going to do damage to anyone who is currently like on it or attached to it. So that's going to be Minim or Nigh. Or I say it's going to do damage. You can do a might or speed defense, difficulty 6.
Okay.
So wait, it's firing at the mech.
No. See, the mech. The chopper has entered the scene, but it's not doing anything else for now.
Okay.
The mech that you're on is activating this like energy shield that is coating over it and then expanding outwards. So it's basically going to try and kind of push you off and damage you in the process, unless you succeed this defense, difficulty 6.
Okay, speed, wasn't it?
It's speed or might.
Aye.
Can I just try to? Well, I guess that would be might defense, wouldn't it? Like try to just hold on.
Yeah. If you do a might defense and you succeed, you can still be clinging onto it.
All right. Let's try that. And what level?
6.
I might just have to take it.
I have some sort
Anyway,
of
I'm gonna
protective
succeed
thing, but I don't think it counts because we're not next to each other.
Oh, if I fail this, do I get knocked off?
Yes.
Oh, right.
Or, well, no, let's see if you want. If you fail, you can take damage but stay holding on.
Yeah, could I just decide to take damage?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so you can just literally just basically grip onto the thing, ignore or, withstand the like blast of energy that goes through you as this thing activates its shield. That will be 12 damage minus any armor.
Yeah, I'll do that. Because using it would have done just about as much.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so you're still clung to the top of it, whereas Nigh, you had to dodge away to the side, but you're still kind of roughly at its feet. However, getting through that shield might be a problem.
Right.
Okay, so that's the turn of Mech 2. Let's just quickly get this thing a name. Oops. So the Hind D pops up from behind a building, and you see from a kind of pod on the front of it, several lasers kind of shoot out. Targeting lasers essentially. Let's see. I think they're going to target Shaq actually, since he did just destroy that other mech. So let's see. Yeah, it shoots several missiles at you. Oops. Oh, okay, Barracks has to go. Yep, no worries. I will see you around. Shaq, it's firing several missiles at you, so it's going to be a level 6 defense.
Okay. Speed defense level 6.
Yep. Or as usual, like with most attacks, like kind of regular attacks like this, you can do speed to try and dodge it, or a might defense to try and kind of absorb it.
I like speed.
Yeah. And by the way, that doesn't necessarily mean like, if a missile's flying at you and you do a might defense, it doesn't necessarily mean, literally just tanking the missile itself, but it means it'll kind of land near you and you're, just absorbing the shrapnel and stuff, basically.
Okay. I'm gonna try and dodge out of the way. I like jumping.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna dodge.
Nice. Cool. Okay, so you you see this thing coming towards you, and you just do a quick I kind of like the idea of he just kind of stands up to it, like holding the ball in 2 hands in front of his chest, and he does that move where he kind of spins around, 360 degrees while moving around to the side. Yeah, the pivot, exactly. Just pivots around this thing as it goes flying past him and blows up a building behind him.
Because I won't travel even though I'm with the transporter.
Yeah, exactly. Very nice. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, let's say that's its turn. I'm also going to say it gets a move where it basically like fires up its engines, and it just it gains height basically, and climbs up to a height of about let's say 100 feet. So that's its turn. Now it is Minim. So you've just endured this energy shockwave, but you're now still on the mech and inside its energy shield. Minim?
Has he gone?
I didn't realize that I was still muted. Yeah, I figured that because we're doing this whole Metal Gear theme, I should just like dive straight into that, and which is why I absolutely must be within slashing range of this Metal Gear. I've got a ability called Enhanced Phased Attack, which means that when I attack, it completely ignores armor and it does an extra 5 damage.
Oh, very nice.
So I figure Minim's just going to do a Zandatsu.
Absolutely.
Metal Gear, because his fingers are basically lightsabers at this point.
Yeah. Very nice. Okay, so
So he just shouts, "This is my normal!"
all right, so that's going to be a attack difficulty 6.
Sick. Because it hasn't found me yet, would I get any benefit toward that?
Actually, yeah, because you like got in right close and you can kind of choose, you know, the kind of weak point near it to attack. Yeah, let's say you get a asset.
Cool. And pop some effort in this one. Let's hope this works. Yay!
Very nice. So that's your. So what damage are you doing with that?
4 for the medium weapon, then another 5.
Reet. Okay, so that's 9, and then you get an extra 1 for getting a 17, so that's 10. And 2, 3, 4. Okay, and kind of whereabouts on its body are you attacking it, if anywhere
It's like
in particular?
nape of the neck sort of thing.
Cool. Okay, so you do your like floating in the air in front of it, slashing your claws wildly as
In
you
slow
know.
motion. Well,
yeah,
it's in slow motion. I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a slash effect, slash across the screen. You basically rip apart like the back of its neck, and sparks and stuff like fly out of it, and you know, you clearly do a very hefty amount of damage to it, as well as, let's say, you basically like remove the armor on that part of it, like you kind of expose it, kind of thing. As is your wont. Cool. Okay, so you do a decent chunk of damage to that. It looks in pretty bad shape. That is the end of your turn, and now it's Nai.
Okay, what would it take to get inside the shield? Would that be difficult?
That's a good question. Let me see. I'll just look this up.
Because I'm thinking either I keep at this or I try and get up to the helicopter.
Yeah.
Which would probably, I'd need to climb on top of a building or something.
Okay, I'm going to say slightly unorthodox, but if you want to get through the shield, it's going to take you a turn. You'll basically have to, you'll make a might defense against potentially 12 damage and a difficulty 6.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, I think Minim has this pretty well in hand.
I mean, you could call Minim and let him know that you want to be in there as soon as he can do that.
Right. Well, you know what?
Before going and doing something more important.
I'm going to get up high so I can make an attempt to grapple onto this helicopter.
Cool. Let's say like.
And if say the shield does go down, I could also just jump down back onto the mech and.
Yeah. I'm going to say like just kind of a flavor. Let's say Stason is still like driving his car along through these bullets and explosions and stuff, and you're able to kind of like. You skid it off on this sheet metal thing to surf over to the mech, and he's kind of carried on down the road. And if you want, you can now have a scene where you're like Tarzan swing over it through a like ruined building and like latch onto his car as it's going past, and use that as the kind of momentum to try and jump up towards the hind D and grapple it.
Okay, right.
That sound cool?
Fire my sword up and sort of wall run along a building
Awesome.
in an arc.
Nice. Okay, I'm going to say, because it's quite a distance and it's going to be difficult to get up there, I'm going to say getting up there is going to be your move. It's going to be speed, difficulty 6.
Okay. Let's see. Would I say that's acrobatics, so it'd be specialized in
Yeah,
that.
Definitely.
Um,
This is nice bag.
Here we go. Okay.
Very nice. Okay, so you successfully do that move as described, and you end up, as you say, like kind of grappling onto the Stasemobile 2 as it's careering along the road. You get flung up, and you kind of do a cool wall run along the wall, and then leap up with your swords shooting out on their ropes, and you clamp onto the onto the undercarriage of the helicopter. So that's where you are. I'm going to say that's your turn.
Okay. Well, hopefully that doesn't stop anyone from blowing it up.
All right, so Varix is gone. Do we have Stason back? No, it sounds like he's gone AFK.
Can I say
that's
I'm
fine.
hanging from the thing by my swords, but it's, I'm about 10 foot down from it or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay,
20
so
foot.
Stason presumably is still AFK. Let's say he used his move to like do that maneuver with you, basically. So now Rogorek gets a turn.
Okay, so now he's dealing with the helicopter right now.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say no to some help.
Well, I don't know how much I can help you without revealing myself.
Oh yeah, we still don't know you're even there.
Yeah, just for context, no one in the party has met or become at all aware of Rogorek so far.
So,
But he did basically win the take over the spaceship for them last time and basically win the battle for them, despite still being unknown. So yeah, I mean, you can take any other kind of action that you want, Rogorek. You could, I don't know if you have any ciphers or artifacts or anything like that, you could potentially use as well.
It's an artifact. There's cards. No, nothing that would be. I guess I could attempt helping with the helicopter without revealing myself. So how high up is it?
It climbed up and gained height, so it's about 100 feet up.
Is there like a building that's about the same height as it?
Yeah, for cinematic effect, let's say that when Nai like hooked onto it with her swords, it kind of tilted it a bit. So it went careering over and it kind of drifted over this direction a bit. And this right here to its right is like a kind of flat skyscraper-y kind of tower that reaches up. Yeah, but what the hell? Let's say it's kind of roughly the same level as the helicopter.
Okay, so I guess I'll try. I have a grappling hook, so I'll try and grapple up there and climb.
Cool. And then do you want to, let's see, let's have you make a speed roll difficulty, let's say 4 to get up there, and if you succeed, then you can also do a roll afterwards. So your grapple is kind of functions like an extended move action.
Okay. Let's succeed.
Cool. Okay, so you successfully grapple your way, Titanfall style, up onto the top of the building. So you're kind of roughly level with and vaguely nearby to the helicopter as it's trying to correct for the weight of Nai suddenly on it.
So what does this thing look like exactly?
It looks exactly like a Russian Hind D. That is an attack. That is an attack helicopter.
Okay. Is there a possibility that I can just like cut off the rotors?
Sure, yeah. I mean, they're spinning very fast. So are you just wanting to kind of do that?
Is there a bit that connects the rotors to the helicopter?
Yeah, there is. There is a main linkage that, still going to be... Well, yeah, you're at level 6, so if you want to be basically making... Yeah, let's say it's close enough that you can do like a leaping swipe type thing. I will say that you're going to take some big damage if you fail it. But let's say... Yeah, if you succeed, I think it's probably pretty much going to kill it.
Would this count as a surprise attack?
Yeah, let's say it does.
To everyone.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a level 6 enemy, so it's going to be difficulty 6.
Okay. So the surprise attack reduces it by 2. I think, yeah. So this should be an automatic success, hopefully.
Nice. Okay, so you do indeed appearing out of nowhere, and I presume that you're going to want to be, not seen doing this either.
Yeah.
Cool. So, whoever is paying attention or not, they suddenly hear a kind of metallic shriek and a whir as the rotor blades of this helicopter just go pinwheeling up into the sky, and the body of it just drops like a stone towards the ground.
So just before letting go of the helicopter, I think for a moment, damn, I'm good.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, let's say you rock it towards one side. You rock the helicopter rather towards one side, so it's kind of heading towards the building, and then you just hear this kind of shearing metal sound as it seems to kind of break, and I assume you kind of swing in a cool manner off its undercarriage and into the building beside it, maybe.
Yeah, another 3-point landing, maybe with a bit of a skid.
I think like a 3-point landing with a skid, but down the side of the building, secured by one of your swords on a rope.
Even better.
Cool. So the chopper just falls straight to the ground and explodes in a huge fireball of munitions and stuff. And instantly,
I do not look at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course not.
Cool. Okay, so that was Rogarek's very successful turn. Let us. Yeah, let's go ahead and just roll initiative again.
Okay, initiative.
Fuck up.
All right, so is that all done? I guess so. Cool. So Minim did not get a 20, but you do go first.
Cool. Alright, I guess.
So you're on kind of the back of its shoulders, basically, and you've just fucked up its neck.
Yeah, I will. Got a lot of things I can do, but they will take full actions. I know. I will make a portal next to me, and then a portal next to Nye, which will hang around for a minute. So the shield's not going to be doing much.
Yep. Cool. Okay. Oops, just made you explode. Okay, great. That's your turn if you spend the effort for that. Now the mech is going to react, and having been heavily damaged by some kind of intruder on its back, which it can't tell, exactly where you are. I'm going to say it basically just. Okay, no, I know what it does. It basically does like a death blossom. And it just spins its torso around its waist. So it's trying to both throw you off if it can, and at the same time it's just shooting all its weapons in a circle around it. So let's have everyone make a defense. Let's say for Minim, it's going to be difficulty 6, speed defense. For everyone else, it's going to be a level 4 defense, speed or might.
Everyone?
Yep.
What just happened?
It's firing indiscriminately.
It's doing a death blossom and just spinning around and shooting the entire area around it and just basically leveling all the buildings here as it tries to kind of save itself.
Shaq trips over his gigantic shoes.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so I think that's everyone. Okay, so Shaq, you take. Let's see. I'm going to say because it's firing blindly, it's less. It's going to be 8 minus whatever armor or whatever other effects you have. Everyone else just kind of takes cover and ducks their heads down as these munitions go flying overhead, and there's shrapnel and rubble everywhere, but you do not get hit. So that is the mech's turn, and now Blaze, having been just shaken up by this attack, you have a turn. Sorry, Shaq, has a turn.
Right.
The portal's like on. I guess if Nye's like near it, then the portal's on the floor, also near it. If he wants to go for that, but it's up to you.
Well, I'm sort of hanging off the side of a building.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
actually, Nye is actually over. Oops, no.
But seems like
Nye is
thing-
kind of located over here. So let's say you can recon it and say the portal is next to Shaq.
I
If you want, it's up to you.
put it in the middle
Well,
of
it's-
everyone.
it's
There you
cool.
go, easy.
Yeah. All right. So what I'm thinking is, rather than, so this is like something I can do without really physically interacting with it, but I'm going to physically interact with it anyway. I'm going to do what this is called the gravity cleave, and I renamed it the slam and jam. So the deal is that I'm going to slam part of it downward with the power of gravity, and then slam and then jam another chunk of it upward. So it's going to like kind of tear if this is
Nice.
successful.
I think, unless you have any objections, I think it would be cool if, you've been blown up and stuff. Let's say you got blown up kind of onto the ruins of one of the buildings nearby to the road, and you see the portal open up in the road. And looking down through the portal, you can see the back of this thing's neck. So what I'm imagining is that you basically just do a massive jump off your building, ball first through the portal, so that you suddenly appear next to Minim and just slam into its neck and activate your gravity and stuff to cleave it in twain, or try to. Cool. So go ahead and make your attack. Let's say I think it's going to be difficulty 5 at this stage.
Okay.
Nice. All right. So you successfully do that, and what does it say about damage and stuff for that?
It is 6 points of damage.
Nice. And is that in addition to your weapon damage, or?
I don't know. I don't know if that is or not.
You know what? It's near the end of the session. I'm going to say yes, it is, because that will successfully kill it.
Nice.
I like this. So you go slamming through this portal and just pop out of it on the other side with great speed, just dunking your ball onto the equivalent of this thing's head, and it just basically face plants. But
I'm not done yet, because then I jam it upward. So I grab the legs, because I just shot its head toward the ground. I grab its legs and take off into the air again.
Nice. And with all the gravitational forces surging towards you as you do that, and the damage that this thing has already taken, including having its foot chopped off, basically it's kind of waist joint which it just span around on. So in fact, let's say you actually do this as it's still spinning around and doing its death blossom thing. So with the spinning momentum that it already has, and then suddenly being slammed and jammed in a vicious and brutal manner like this, it's just too much force for the waist joint to take, and it just basically breaks in half and goes as it the light goes out in its eyes and it deactivates. So you're left in a smoking, crater-filled, much destroyed battlefield. Let's see. So Johnny 6 like drives up to you at this point, and all of the camera drones and stuff and whatnot are also kind of here and like flashing and whirring and spinning around you and stuff. And all that on their speakers, you can hear all of the robots and war machines inside the facility, like whooping and cheering, saying, "Oh, that was so amazing! Oh, you know, inflicted class 4 damage on an ATXP defense unit, yeah, all that kind of stuff." And so they're super happy with it.
Love their enthusiasm.
I say to them, if you like that, just wait to see what you guys do in this upcoming battle. It's going to be great.
So at that stage, you have defeated the defenses of the facility, and after collecting yourselves, and go ahead and use your 1 action or 10-minute breaks.
Okay. Well, you know what? I might hold on to mine because I'm pretty fresh.
But in any case, you're able to now kind of roam more or less freely around the facility. We're kind of short on time, so I won't give you too much of a advanced tour. But basically, all around the surface here are a lot of stuff like refueling and repairing and refitting facilities, so that vehicles which are on the top side can just kind of come here and get fixed up and stuff, and then return without having to go straight down into the storage facility itself. What you see, there's like a big highway type thing in the middle, and up to the north and south, that basically goes into a tunnel, or goes into tunnels that lead underground. So this, I mean, it's even bigger than a highway. It's like kind of the equivalent of like, you know, at least a 12-lane highway, maybe bigger, to accommodate all these giant war machines and stuff, and you know, allow them to transport between the surface and below. Johnny 6 takes you down the tunnel, and he's still kind of babbling and like burbling at you basically about how awesome your victory was, and he seems like totally pumped and like the robot equivalent of like buzzing with adrenaline, having seen this awesome battle. And he's like, oh, we got all the metrics recorded on that, we're going to be able to replay that anytime we're like, you're going to be the heroes of our story. Oh, you're so awesome, you're going to live on in our memory banks forever, and this kind of stuff. But as he trundles down the passage, you basically get confronted with, so basically the tunnel ahead of you is like broken and smashed. There's a big kind of empty blank area that's filled with like half destroyed kind of rubble and structures, although it's like open enough that you could move through it. And then beyond that is just this big kind of wall of debris and dirt, and just beyond part of it you can see kind of the glint of glass. So Johnny 6 turns to you and kind of puts its arms on the equivalent of its hips and says, well, this is the obstruction.
You're not wrong.
So it says, let's see. Yeah, I won't give like basically it says, we tried blasting through it, but most of the weapons are deactivated because we're all marked to repair. So we haven't really been able to blast through it too well. And there's only a couple of us still intact on this side, so bit of a problem.
Can Minim have a little wander through?
Yeah,
See
absolutely.
where the other side of the obstruction is.
Yeah, sure. So basically, how to describe this? So basically, the ground that this tunnel passes through is kind of cleft. It has a big gouge in it that's more or less open to the outside sky, and kind of the ruins of the tunnel, multi-level and very wide kind of tunnel in that smashed space. And then beyond that is the kind of wall that is made up of all this melted sand and glass. And on the other side of that, presumably, is the continuation of the tunnel leading down into the warehouses full of war machines and stuff that you're trying to get to.
Yeah, well, I just want to phase through it.
Cool, you can totally do that. So let's see, I don't have a screen prepared for it, but basically, you teleport through and you find much the same scene on the other side, i.e. the kind of ruined and smashed highway interrupted by the layer of glass. Even in this area you're in, you can tell, even though it wasn't, once you get past the glass, the area still beyond that still has extensive damage. The tunnel's barely up and things, but you're able to kind of pick your way through. And let's see. Yeah, you pick your way through, and you find yourself greeted by a big, enthusiastic, cheering crowd of very real, not illusory, war machines in a big, large, like a hangar basically, but kind of much larger with very high ceilings that kind of descends down in several tranches and levels. So it's basically like a huge multi-level car park kind of thing that stretches off in, well, even this one compartment of it kind of stretches off into the distance. It's not very well lit, so it kind of disappears into the shadows, and you see just this huge collection of these war machines and tanks and stuff there. So they're like just kind of dancing around you and cheering and stuff. What other action do you take?
Well, just so long as I know where everything is now, that was kind of all I was interested in doing.
Okay, yeah.
I guess he just doesn't respond to anything and instead just teleports straight back. And, they're all kind of just left there.
You might hear the remnant of them going, "Oh."
Now, don't they have weaponry there that might be able to remove the obstruction?
They do have weaponry, but they are not currently authorized to use it.
So I've just teleported back to the gang, and I guess we'll be teleporting everyone in, which I can do with a little effort.
Nice.
Can you use one of your portals, maybe? Because then it would be like we don't even need to
How
unlock
big
it.
is this obstruction? I assume it's like massive.
Yeah, I mean the wall of glass is like at least, I don't know, 50 meters thick, something like that, maybe less. Maybe call it 30 meters thick, and it's in kind of a bowl shape around the the surface of the crater, basically.
Okay, well I can absolutely do a wormhole then. So I just open one of those.
Cool.
Everyone can have a little wander through. Made a little door.
All right. So you open up this. You come back. You open up this portal in front of everyone, which leads through into this kind of cavernous, dimly lit space full of very enthusiastically cheering but currently trapped war machines.
I'll cast invisibility on myself and pass through the portal quickly behind everyone else.
Cool. Okay.
I
So
can see you, by the way.
What?
I can see invisible things
Can you? How?
because I've got true senses and I can see through all illusions
So you've
automatically
known
with
all
no
this
roll.
time.
Yeah.
I'm
But
imagining
that
though
doesn't.
that.
Yeah, Minim might not say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
He
imagining
doesn't care.
that's the case.
Well, I mean, you'd have to look at me first.
I also have total awareness, which means that I can basically see anything around me.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Minim's
that
a
Minim
big
does
weirdo.
indeed notice Rogorek, but since Rogorek doesn't want to be revealed at this point, I'm gonna say Minim probably keeps his weird porcelain mouth
Well,
shut about it. Unless
Minim doesn't know that everyone else isn't aware of him because
Yeah.
Roderick is helping out, so he just thinks he's a party member.
Very nice. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so basically, I mean, I'm going to be slightly rushing things at this stage because of the time, but essentially, you get kind of crowded, and if you let them, kind of like crowd surfed basically by all these happy robots and stuff. It's a bit awkward because they're all like different sizes, but on the other hand, they do have manipulable arms and stuff like that. And let's say some of them have like force field kind of manipulators and stuff. So anyway, they
Nye is totally letting this happen and enjoying it.
So basically, most of them are just like kind of ecstatic at just having watched this amazing battle and stuff, and being promised, this mother of all wars or battles. They're kind of incessantly peppering you with kind of questions about the kind of hardware they're going to be going up against, and like what the Allies have, and all that kind of stuff. Basically, I'm going to kind of assume that at some point you asked them, is there a Actually, screw it. Yeah, I'm just going to say you probably ask them about a way to activate their weapons, and they
I hereby authorize you.
they just kind of look at you blankly and say, "Thanks." Anyway, to activate the authorization codes, and they carry on with their explanation.
Right.
They say they need to get you. No, that was too flippant. They deeply bow in respect and say, "Ah, thank you, great warrior." And then they continue with their explanation of how to actually achieve that. And they point you towards a let's say, well, yeah, basically like a control room full of computers and stuff. Let's see. I think probably it sounds like Rogarek would be the most qualified to try and basically hack into this and try and authorize them to use their weapons. So yeah. Well, like, what kind of skills do you have in that direction now, Rogarek? I guess you have Numenera, right? So you must be specialized in that.
I only have trained.
Okay, let's see. Okay, no, yeah, I will say, actually, no. Sorry, ignore me. I'm just turning up thoughts in my head. Okay, let's just make this a straightforward intellect roll, basically, to try and hack into these computers and lift the authorization lockdown on these things. So this will be, let's call it difficulty 6. You know what? I think this is one of those situations where actually there wasn't much point in rolling because, you have a bit of, you got in here reasonably quickly and stuff. I think you're going to have enough time to hack into these things. So yeah, I'm going to say that you've basically succeeded at this point.
It's
So
like
what?
a take 20 situation, you know?
Yeah, pretty much. So what happens is Rogarek takes his time. It takes him a couple of false starts, but maybe Stason helps with some percussive maintenance onto some of the control panels, and you basically manage to successfly, reassign all of these war machines and things back to active status. So there's like a huge wave across the whole cavern of like clicks and whirs and thunks and like whines and stuff as all of their weapon systems at once reactivate, and they
are excited about that.
Oh yeah, they're like, oh my god, yeah. A lot of them just start like shooting wildly into the air, letting off like missiles and rockets and stuff that shoot up and like
Crying
blast the
tears in oil.
ceilings. Yeah, exactly. And they're like dancing around or whatever the equivalents are.
So Rogarek was like stealth hacking, I guess.
Yeah, literally still invisible.
So Stason just thinks that beating the machines up worked.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like Rogarek's literally like invisible next to him the whole time, and Stason's just like hitting things randomly until suddenly the lights go green, and all of the machines activate at the same time. So what after you manage to calm them down from their euphoria. You tell them more details about what they're going to be doing, and you say, you say basically something along the lines of, it's time to get out of here, and so they usher you away from the place where the tunnel is. A huge crowd of them like gather over, all trying to be the ones who are in the firing line to destroy the wall here. So you end up with them like. You've got this big mass of like tanks and stuff just kind of crammed together in this tunnel, and you've got like there's tanks who like roll up behind them and just like try and poke their gun through the big mass of robots so they can also get a shot, and they all there's the whole entire cavern basically does a countdown from 10, like New Year style, like 10, 9, 8, and then when they count down to 1, there's just this massive volley of explosions and shots and stuff. A good deal of the robots who at the front line taking the shots just get outright destroyed, but they do succeed in blowing a massive hole in the side of the crater here, and several, they're all really excited about that, but they clear a path for some kind of like engineer vehicles, basically, which start laying out like a metal framework, and then they spray kind of like with these fire hoses this kind of epoxy that hardens and then gets smoothed down into a bridge which repairs the highway. And again, you're all getting like toasted and cheered and things ecstatically by these robots as there's just a river of tanks and war machines and things just swarming up the road and out into the desert, and all like waving at the sky and things, and like chattering at each other about the wrecks of the security droids that you destroyed and all that kind of thing. So you have succeeded. Any thoughts for like a cool closing shot or scene?
I want to fly ahead of the whole crowd, like, come to me.
Yeah, they're all like, yeah. They're all like, because I mean, you took out. In fact, yeah, you basically took out both mechs with your fearsome attacks, and so they're like perfectly happy to like hero worship you. There is a little bit much like shooting up into the sky around you, but it's all in good fun.
Right.
And
It's like that shot in.
I have to all swat it out of the air.
yeah,
It's like that shot in BVS where Superman's just kind of like floating above everyone, godlike, except it's Shaquille O'Neal.
yeah, exactly. And,
You know, he's got
and not rubbish.
Shaquille's got a Superman tattoo.
oh, nice.
Sealed up as a
Excellent.
tattoo.
Awesome. So you're like floating up in head. Let's say Stason and whoever wants to, Barracks is kind of perched on top of the Station Mobile 2 as well. He's kind of out the front and leading everyone.
Nye is sort of riding on top of Johnny Six and talking excitedly.
Oh,
with him.
nice.
She doesn't know much about robots, but she knows about enthusiasm.
And Rogarek, of course, is nowhere to be seen. Very nice. So yeah, I guess
Great
that's
game, man.
that's about it for the scene. So let's at this stage decide which place you want to go to next. So you make contact back with the church with the communication device they gave you, and they're ready to start setting up the warp. The list of places you have can be seen in the middle here.
Okay, so we've got 2 done. Is that right? Did we
Yep.
get the ultra-terrestrial beacon set and the armory?
Indeed.
So, Sleeping Titan or Mountain Barrage? Not sure if we're gonna go with the causal splitter yet.
I like the Sleeping Titan, personally.
Yeah, I mean, so Mountain Barrage is kind of cool because I don't know. There's something incredibly cool about turning a mountain range into like anti-aircraft planetary defense, but also it's like that could be Nye territory.
Yeah.
I do like a mountain.
Yeah. Okay. So any objections to going to the Mountain Barrage next?
No problem.
And sold. Cool. So they start getting you set up to go there, and let's say the sun is starting to rise in the background over this huge sea of machines, which is just still pouring out over the crater as you have a shot kind of posed in front of the sunrise, and then you just out of existence or out of sight. Anyway.
Because
All die.
Sorry, all die. Things
The revenge of
aliens
Homo.
conquer the world.
Yeah, that is it. Thank you all, as usual, very much for coming. Thank you especially to our new and returning players. I had a blast, and I hope you got on well with the system. If you have any questions about any of the mechanics, having played it for a session now, or if you want to be changing up any of your powers and abilities and all that jazz, you can do that. And now I think this week was tier 6+4, so that means as of next week, your advancements will be picking a new ability from pretty much anywhere in the book, as long as it fits with your character.
right on.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, like I said in the chat, I'm pretty much up for this being like the end stage of a D&D campaign where it just gets completely bananas ridiculous and you can do all kinds of crazy shit. So yeah.
So what we get like a new tier ability from a focus after every session
Yes.
instead of an advancement.
Yeah, you see your numbers are done going up. From now, you're just increasing your flexibility by getting new abilities.
Love options.
Right, well, I'm going to go off and get supper and do my thing. Thank you all again, and I'll see you next week, or in a few minutes in the chat.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.